Well, there's been a long time, right, for evolution, because I started being a fashion designer when I was in my early 20s, properly. I mean, I graduated when I was 23, 24, and then I worked for a company, and then I had my own company in London, and then I moved from London to New York, and I worked first for Ann Taylor, and then I worked for a catalog company. And the catalog company was called Tweeds. I was their design director, and I think what I learned there was because you sell it on the page, right? So we designed the collections, but we worked very closely together with the people that produced the images of the catalog. So I think that's probably where my initial sense of what does it look like and how do you pair it up kind of subconsciously started. Then I went to Calvin Klein, where I was senior VP of design, where we worked very closely together with the advertising departments. And I did CK, and for CK I, for instance, had to develop the logo. Initially it was the logo for the patch on the jean, and that became the CK, the eventual that they still use, CK logo. Then that had to go on the advertising pages. So I think my awareness, that shift was never really a shift. I just learned about it as I went along, and as my position went more from making and designing the clothes to being responsible for a full branding picture. So then when I left Calvin, I had my own company again in Japan. I did my own catalog, so even more closer to. Then I became director of design at Pantone, the color chip company, and they did a line of branded products, but they were very small. That had to also be, and that was a very graphic company, and we really dealt with, the color proportions on every product we did. So I think it's just a long education that made it eventually easier for me to direct design. But initially I only directed the books, and I worked with the designer. Now I know how to do InDesign, and I can, if I have the time, I'll lay out my own books. And if I don't have the time, I'll work with a designer who does that. So it's, if you're open to it, you can learn all these things, and you must have had the same experience.